For even those of us so-called lucky, mediocre, regular people who can afford a plane ticket, traveling is still but a hassle. From waiting to catch the plane just to be bamboozled with another 3-hour delay, or then bursting open a couple of your brain's nerves from the child sitting next to you, screaming on top of their lungs with nothing but patience and the wait for the flight to be over at your disposal. But does it ever occur to you that this is nothing like the travel experience of the rich? Well, don't forget to watch the video till the very end, because today we're bringing you complete, unrestricted insight into how the billionaire CEOs travel. But before we begin the video, we request you subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you never miss another upload here. With that out of the way, let's jump right in. Number 7. Private jet, professional or personal. Unlike the most of us, the wealthy consider luxurious private jets for themselves and their families, not a luxury, but simply reimbursable corporate expenses. Why, you may ask? Well, conveyance is largely thought to be a matter of security, and most billionaires plan out their travel in collaboration with their work trips. For instance, taking their family with them whilst they make a small work stay in Dubai for a couple days prior to jetting off to, let's say, Maldives for a fun family vacation. Safety is a word more legitimately thrown around by government officials, such as former presidents, etc. But if we're talking about CEOs and other businessmen, they prefer to be productive on planes, and really, if you think about it, if you can be offline for 10 hours without any major problems, then you really can't be all that important. Also, keep in mind, in the era of commercial flights, beginning to now ban laptops, private planes sound like a wonderful way to ensure that work gets done, if you can afford it. Next, there's the matter of privacy. Wealthy individuals like CEOs prefer to avoid paparazzi and like to stay on the radar, so that they can for once focus on their family rather than who they are. Speaking of family time, they often bring along their pet animals just because they can. Number 6. Many hands make light work. Behind every woman. Nope, let's not go there. What we're talking about here is VIP itineraries. Behind every VIP itinerary, there are multiple layers of hardworking experts, putting their utmost efforts and ridiculous hours towards coordinating the logistics for the trip. They have an air department, a ground department, an in-between department, along with those fancy executive assistants working parallel to each other in an intricately interwoven way, just to make sure everything is exactly the way they like to travel every single step of the way. To top that, we mustn't forget the entire team of a wealthy CEO's personal assistants, who often prove extra valuable because the term personal preferences fall very high on the things to consider list of the wealthy. Therefore, for a successful trip, keeping note of the individual's preferences for air travel can be among the most important to consider. To serve you an example of this, some richies may want a particular make and model for their airport transfer for vanity. Some may alternatively want to be picked up right next to the aircraft for speed, while others may be rather particular about having 2 pilots, even on a tiny helicopter for paranoia. However, the trickiest bit for the trip organizing team is the fact that after all is said and done, the CEOs still require not for every single minute to be planned. Imagine a mix of organized activities, yet room for spontaneity on the itineraries, so to produce a structured schedule that which is expertly balanced with unplanned, spare time for relaxation. Number 5. Don't toot your own horn. It is not the smartest thing to brag to your bosses about your Platinum Elite Marriott Rewards status, because the likely chances are they won't be the least impressed. This is largely due to the fact that the wealthy couldn't really care less about such rewards or points that offer them amenities or free breakfasts or upgrades. Since money is not a concern, they quite understandably prefer to book the room they want from the very beginning rather than digging deep on the internet for more economical options like the most of us. Number 4. The perfect home away from home. As humans, our minds and bodies adjust to the conditions that we most often expose them to. This means, since the wealthy normally live at home constituting quite a lavish lifestyle, they also, therefore, seek and love top luxury accommodations. The 5 key things they are quite specific about are good lighting, outdoor space, seamless technology, high-end luxurious furniture, and surprisingly, most of all, a super comfortable bed. Further, incorporating specific outstanding views, such as the sight of the Eiffel Tower right outside your bedroom window, can't be so bad either. And if you're wondering about the rooms and resorts on CEO bucket lists, pick up your phone and Google the likes of the Brando, which by the way is a private island resort in Tahiti that was once owned by Marlon Brando. The Four Seasons Bora Bora, whose 3-bedroom overwater bungalows are among the best in Polynesia. The AE2 Royal Suite at the Four Seasons in Lanai, Hawaii, and the private villas at Castiglione del Bosco, a Tuscan village turned rosewood resort by the god of fashion himself, Massimo Ferragamo. Number 3. The little things. Another less-known secret about the travel planners that billionaires employ is the fact that although they may have already made the best and most fitting plane and hotel bookings, they don't from there onwards leave it all to the respective managements because they're smart enough to know that although they made the best arrangements, they're still not the ones executing the services they book. That's why they go that extra mile to assemble lists of critical personal details, such things as those of dietary preferences, such as allergies and restrictions, an affinity for San Pellegrino over Perrier, a hatred for Jack Daniels, or an addiction to spin classes, and then forward those straight off to the hotel's general manager, not the front desk or guest relations team. It's smart to remember that no matter how many hotels reinstate that they care about every guest, they frequently tend to either lose or overlook this type of minute information. This way, they responsibly transfer high-powered requests into equally high-powered hands, ensuring that detailed requests, such as in-room yoga mats and, blenders for protein shakes, don't ever go overlooked. A top tip on the matter is booking yachts, villas, and residences in place of traditional hotels, wherein you can control the staff-to-guest ratio yourself, guarantee privacy, and custom-pick chefs or butlers whom you know will strike the right chords. Number 2. The perfect plane. As CEO of Taylor & Hart Jewelers, Nikolay Piryankov regularly jets off to visit supply chain partners in India, Hong Kong, South Africa, and the United States, and he says the plane you're traveling in makes a big difference. The newer planes, like the Boeing Dreamliner, have features such as naturally changing light, better humidity, and lower pressurization, which all help with reducing fatigue, Piryankov said. Planes matter, and so, it seems, does what you get up to while you're aboard. I've stopped taking advantage of the free alcohol on flights, which was one of my favorite things when I was younger, Piryankov confides. The dehydration that is already at a higher level when flying combined with alcohol is a huge contributor to jet lag. Number 1. Thank you, may be. Here's a shocker. CEOs can be difficult. They very well can be the constant nagger type, sending round-the-clock texts and emails complaining that the weather was too hot in, let's say, Italy, despite the fact that all their family's activities were thoughtfully scheduled in the early hours. A rude, dictatorial CEO is more likely to fail because no one will feel comfortable telling him or her what he or she needs to hear. The CEO needs to be accessible. There are times when a CEO has to assert his or her authority to send a message that he or she feels strongly about something. However, even then, rudeness is unacceptable. What's more, the 12-year-olds to these moguls can be just as difficult as the parents, if not more, with over-the-top criticisms of just about every rich kid activity that's planned out for them. However, this isn't always the case by a rule of thumb. Some really individuals can turn out to be really nice people who generally appreciate everything, which is why it isn't uncommon to receiving flowers and thank you notes, or even photo books filled with vacation snaps from happy clients. But before you begin your hunt to become a wealthy CEO's assistant, keep in mind it's usually thoughtful stuff, which is most likely not a Ferrari outside your apartment. Ladies and gentlemen, those were the 6 things that are a must for most billionaires in their successful travel plans. Let us know what you think about this matter in the comments section below. If you liked our video, do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to join us next time for more of such interesting yet informative content. Toodles.